And welcome back to another episode of Big Movie Mouth Off, filmed here at our home away from home, Broovies Cinema Pub. I'm Jeff Weiss with Cinephile.com.
And I'm Jimmy Martin with Slug Magazine. You can find Big Movie Mouth Off on Xfinity Channel 6, also on their on-demand system, Utah On Demand, Salt Lake Alternative. It's right there, Big Movie Mouth Off. Tons of films, young and old. Maybe you missed it while it was in theaters. Maybe it's now in the theaters right now, like this one.
Before we review this movie too, we'd like to thank our friends at Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Yeah. Salt Lake Comic-Con, let's see, it was last September in 2013. If you weren't there, my God, you missed some fun. And they just announced that they're gonna do the fan experience in April. So check that out on their Facebook page, facebook.com/Salt Lake Comic-Con. And also they're gonna do 2014 Comic-Con as well. They are planning to break records like you have never seen before.
Absolutely, and I guarantee at both events we will see people dressed as characters from the following movie.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Marvel's Thor: The Dark World, the follow-up to the semi-hit Marvel character-based movie fantasy. This time around, our hero, the Norse god of thunder, played by Chris Hemsworth, has to do battle with dark elves, the sort of long sleeping evil dudes that kind of want to destroy the universe using a primal force of nature that's called the ether, which, by the way,
It's space goo.
space goo, which has infected Thor's mortal lady love, Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman. So while Thor is sort of quelling rebellions that are going off in Asgard at his father's bidding, he's sort of torn because he wants to go to Earth and see Jane Foster, who's infected, and then things sort of come together. By the way, he's going to stop the Dark Elves, who are led by the evil Dark Elf Malekith, played by Christopher Eccleston. He's going to stop him. Thor may just have to join forces with a person he would rather not join forces with.
No.
His stepbrother Loki.
He just put him in prison.
Yep, Tom Hiddleston. So we get the cast from the first film back. We get a new director, Alan Taylor, who's directed some of the best episodes of Game of Thrones and Mad Men, who brings a more Game of Thrones-like feel to Asgard than Kenneth Branagh did in the first film, which felt sort of pompous and Shakespearean. This feels more Game of Thrones-esque. It's a lighter, funnier, in a lot of ways, movie, even though this is actually, in some respects, darker and killer than the first film.
After all this time, now you come to visit me, brother. Why? To mock.
I need your help. But I wish I could trust you.
If you did, you'd be the fool I always took you for.
Some believe that before the universe, there was nothing. They're wrong. There was darkness, and it has survived.
What's gonna happen?
I gave you my word. I would return for you. You face an enemy, known only to a few, known only to one.
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
If we do nothing, they will destroy us. You even think about betraying him.
I'll kill you. That was from New York.
I like her.
Thor, your bravery will not ease your pain.
Your family.
Your world will be extinguished.
We're running out of time.
The very fabric of reality will be torn apart.
I'll find a way to save us all.
Definitely darker. The first thing that I noticed about this film after I watched it, I've seen it twice now, and I still feel the same way. There's a lot of exposition to get through in about first 15 minutes of this thing. But when you're talking about space goo and 9 realms of the universe and this, that, it's going to take some time to get the ball rolling. It's going to take a little time. But when the ball gets rolling, I'll just say, there's an attack on Asgard. Not going to say from who, but there is. Reminded me of Star Wars. But
Yeah, no, I heard this. I heard this correctly referred to as Star Thors.
absolutely.
Star Thors.
It does remind me of Star Thors. So then, that's when the ball starts rolling down the hill. But once Thor decides to partner with Loki, and you get them out and about, walking side by side, that movie takes off. And it takes off in every way that's fun. It's hilarious. Because there's something about the sci-fi fantasy world, when you put it into, what do you want to call reality, bring it to Earth, it gets cheesy. But when you poke fun at yourself for how corny stuff is, watching Thor take his hammer and put it on a coat rack as he walks into somebody's apartment, that's what you have to do.
Absolutely, and it's interesting you bring up the funnier thing. It's weird how this film, around the halfway mark, sort of turns into a buddy cop movie.
It does. It absolutely does.
With Thor and Loki as the feuding cop partners.
Which I liked even before you get to the buddy cop part. And I said, right after this exposition, you said that Natalie Portman is infected with the ether. She's also infected with Jail's girlfriend syndrome, because I liked it because they actually explained that she's pissed off that she saw Thor in New York and didn't come say hi to her. And he's like, I was kind of busy.
Yeah. Saving the world. But
So then he takes her to Asgard, and basically you get a meet the parents situation for a little while of this, earthling that's not worthy of a god of thunder, and her parents making that well known to everyone. And then you get the buddy cop film, and then you get the sci-fi fantasy. It's a great film. It's a lot of fun. Hemsworth, I think, is getting
he's more confident.
It is, yeah. I think it's more confident in the role.
Especially in the action scenes.
Well, now that it's his third time doing it, the Avengers, I don't think his screen time was as much as a lot of the other people in that film. But this one, again, gives him the chance to wield that hammer with confidence. But the person that outshines everyone in this film is Tom Hiddleston as Loki, who is turning this character, in my opinion, into one of the greatest villains of all time. I'm really thinking he's getting up there with like Darth Vader and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you talk about confidence. That guy is becoming so cocky in that character and loving every second of it. And knowing that the audience is loving it, I mean, now there's no shock of why Marvel did what they did at San Diego Comic-Con, bringing him out there.
Absolutely. It's sort of funny, and I hate to say that someone's almost breaking the fourth wall and self-aware in their performance, but there are times that I swear Tom Hiddleston was looking at the screen and saying, I dare you to hate me.
Yeah.
I dare you to hate me.
Yeah.
I dare you.
He is the epitome of the villain you love to hate.
Absolutely, which is interesting you bring that up, because Chris Eccleston of Doctor Who and 28 Days Later fame plays Malekith the Dark Elf, given absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah, see, there is a problem with
gesture menacingly. And, I've noticed this out of all of the Marvel films. They all have third act problems, all of them. And this one, I would say, its third act problem is that, again, you're right, takes too much exposition to get into the film, which means we have a rushed ending.
Yeah.
It's not rushed to the degree of Iron Man 2, where it's over like that, but this one still feels a little, for me, anticlimactic.
See, I would disagree in the sense of all the Marvel films, but I think your biggest problem with this one, with character-wise, is like you say, you've got Malekith, who is a great villain, but like I said, you've got somebody who's essentially going for one of the greatest villains of all time, who's sticking around, is like, I'm not leaving, and when you guys share screen time with two villains like that, one's going to overshadow the other one completely, especially when you're so well in tune with one that you've seen now 3 times.
Absolutely, and then things get a little even more confused, because if you're familiar with the Thor comics by Walt Simonson, we also get Curse.
Yeah.
Who is the nearly indestructible Dark Elf. Think the Dark Elf Hulk.
Yeah, exactly.
Who gets to beat up on Thor.
A little bit.
Which is a little fun to see, but it's one more character this film doesn't need.
Yeah, but, it's got great action scenes. There's a lot of funny in it. I really enjoyed it. I give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, see, I'm, again, below you. I really, first 15 minutes, hour after that, really enjoyed. Ending was a little unsatisfying for me, and you can tell, and I don't think it's a spoiler, that Joss Whedon came in and shot some touch-up scenes, and there's a reshoot that helps, really helps that third act.
Well, you're not going to keep him off set.
Yeah, you're not. He's kind of like that. He's He's their Gene Roddenberry.
the all-knowing force.
Marvel's Gene Roddenberry now. No, it's good. I'm stuck in between 2.5 and 3 stars. I'm going to say 2 3/4.
All right. There you go. Well, that's Thor: The Dark World.
I will say this:
Oh.
improvement on the first.
Oh,
Decided
by far,
improvement
by
on the
far.
first.
Well, and I will say that it's a little bit easier for these guys to do that because this was the first Marvel film that took you out of Earth. You
Absolutely.
know? So, and if they can do that as well with the second Thor, then I'd like to see how well they're going to do with Guardians. That takes you even more out of the realm of what the hell. So, there you go. 2 3/4 stars, like Star Search from Vice. 3.5 stars from me. But go check it out. Thor: The Dark World. I maybe suggest 3D. It's one of the ones that you can give or take it.
Oh, and stay and watch through the credits.
Stay and watch through the credits for absolutely, and there's for the whole credits. There's 2 hidden scenes if you're gonna go see this, and that'll do it here with Big Movie Mouth Off at Brewery Cinema Pub. We'll review more films for you coming up shortly.
And thanks again, Salt Lake Comic Con.
Thanks again for Salt Lake Comic Con. Be sure to go check out their Facebook page, which apparently is the most popular Facebook page in the state of Utah. So go check it out. There's a lot of announcements coming up. There's gonna be some fun things coming our way in April and in September of 2014. And we'll see you next time.